All right, so here's the results for my fully mechanical rules-based ORB strategy. This was done on the London Open, but it looks like it's working just as well for the NASDAQ New York Open. I'll just mention the win rate that it shows here at 48.5% was actually closer to 56%, and that's because for every loss I took, it was 2 entries, which it does count as 2 trades, and there were some wins that only had the 1 entry. So the win rate was closer to like 56%, although the RR here that shows at 1.59 was a little bit lower. But either way, as you can see, it was profitable for the whole year, netting about 52R, risking $200 per trade, so about $10,500 per account. This would have been totally reasonable to run that size on like a 50K Apex funded account. You never would have blown the account over the year. And as you can see, if you ran this on 10 or 20 accounts, that's going to be quite a bit of profit there. So next up, I'll bring you onto the charts and show you exactly how the strategy works. And from there, we'll just kind of talk about what comes next, which is basically just going to be making some improvements to the strategy and hopefully, reducing some of these losing streaks with maybe an ADX filter for trend strength if some of these losing streaks we're seeing are in choppier market conditions. And then since the strategy is completely rules-based and mechanical, we are going to try to develop it into a fully automated trading bot for NinjaTrade. So if it's something that's interesting to you, you can join the free Discord and stay up to date with it there, or just hit subscribe for the channel. All right, so here we are on FX Replay. And I'll just quickly go over exactly how the strategy works. So we're here at the New York Open on the NASDAQ. And as you can see here is the 930 candle. And we're just going to first mark out the 15-minute opening range high and low. So here we have our high of the range and our low. Now, the next thing we're going to look for is a 5-minute close, 15% beyond the opening range. So that just means if we had a 100-point opening range, we would need to close on the 5-minute, 15 points beyond the range. So this looks like it might be. And I've just set up my fib to give me some of these levels. So as you can see here, the close is 15% beyond the range. So next we want to market order in 2/3 of the position for a 1.33R. Okay, so we've market ordered in for 1/3 of the position. We're risking about $200, so that's about a $130 stop loss, with the stop loss 20% back inside the opening range. Next up, we will immediately place a limit order for the remaining position at 10% beyond the opening range. Okay, so now we've placed the limit order with the remaining $70 risk. We're targeting 1R of the original market entry. So if this trade just keeps going up and never fills this limit order, we'll be taken out at the original 1.33 for 170 or 175. But if we are tagged in on the limit order, the entire position will be brought down and be taken out at 1R of the original entry. So we'll just let this trade play out. And as you can see here, we did get tagged in on the limit order, so the entire position should be moved to be taken out here. And you can see right on that candle there, we're taken out for a win. So what I like about that strategy is, sometimes when you're playing the opening range and you're waiting for that retest, price just keeps going and it never comes back. And by the time it does come back down, maybe it just smashes through the opening range break. And, as an opening range break trader, you've just watched price go without you, move so far away from the opening range, and somehow you've still ended up with a loss. So that can be really frustrating. But often it does have these perfect retests. So I think with this strategy, it's good because you kind of take advantage of either scenario. And if it does retest, then you can kind of, bring your entry point down a little bit and get a better RR. So that's pretty much the strategy. The only other thing is no trades 3 hours after the open. So that will be 12:30 Eastern Standard Time if you're trading the NASDAQ New York Open, or 6 a.m. EST on the London Open. And there might be other variations of where to put the stop loss, where to put the take profit. This is really just one variation that I tested for the entire year, and I know it's profitable. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, really the point of making this entirely mechanical strategy is to hopefully automate it. And from there, it's going to make it a lot easier to make improvements to the strategy by simply changing some of the parameters and letting it run instead of, having to click through an entire year of manually backtesting it again. But yeah, that should be pretty much it for the video. If you did want to stay up to date with all the developments and how the bot's going, come on and join the free Discord. I just made it, so it's literally just me in there, so come say hi. Otherwise, just hit subscribe and we'll keep you updated with how everything's going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.